Hello guys, Dusty here with a quick pickup video. This is just all the stuff I've picked up the past month, which isn't much. It's hardly anything. Really, I didn't find anything at the garage sales, and I hardly found anything at the pawn shop in Goodwill, but the stuff I found was of pretty good quality, so I guess I'll go ahead and get started. Alright, so the first thing I picked up, which was like really late in the month, was a... well, the story behind this and why I picked it up was... I recently moved, and the problem with moving is you can lose a lot of stuff in a move. Like you can inexplicably, your stuff will just disappear. So one of those things that inexplicably disappeared was my GameCube power brick. I have no idea where it went. I'm still looking for the darn thing, but I saw this at the pawn shop. It's a platinum GameCube here. In really rough shape, but I figured, hey, it probably comes with a power adapter. So I asked the sales associate. It did come with a power adapter, so I ended up getting this GameCube. The power adapter that's actually plugged into my wall in my room right now, and of course a GameCube controller, which these are usually worth like the $10 themselves. However, the problem with this one is the R, L, and Z buttons don't work for some reason, so I'm going to try to figure that out. It might just need cleaned or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, for $10, I figure that's a pretty good deal. And it also came with an AV cord, of course. So then... my next pickup was at the Goodwill. I was looking through the CDs, and I found 3 games, 1 PC game and 2 PlayStation games. All of these were $1, because the Goodwill will typically price original PlayStation games at $3, which, unless it's like a Final Fantasy VII or something that's worth more than that, I won't pick it up. But when they're at $1, I usually will, no matter what they are, as long as they're in good condition, just because if I'm going for a complete set in the future, I might as well start now at $1 a piece. That's pretty good for PlayStation games, in my opinion. So, to get started, we have the PC game, Earthworm Jim 3 here. It is all in here. Oh. That fell out there. But yeah, it's all in here. Earthworm Jim 3, the manual front cover thing. Yeah, it's in really great shape. I just picked it up because it's an Earthworm Jim game, even though it is a 3D one, which I've heard most of them are pretty bad. But then I got 2 console games, including Test Drive 3, which is in really clean shape. It is a greatest hits version. However, it's GamePen's Best of E3 award, so that's pretty good. And yet it's all in here and everything. I haven't tested these, so hopefully they work, but the bottoms of them are pretty clean. And then I got Motocross Mania, which looks like a motocross game. Those are always fun. I wonder how this shapes up to Excitebike 64. Excitebike 64 is really good, by the way, so if you ever see it, pick it up. It's really fun. You can even unlock the original NES Excitebike inside of it, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's in here. The case fell apart, but it's all everything. And by the way, thrift store tip: if you're looking through the CDs, want to know a good way to find PlayStation games, just always look at the spines right here. You'll see, if I can close this up enough without killing you by way of vertigo, you'll see NTSC U/C if you're in the United States or Canada, or whatever your region is. So just go ahead and check that out. You won't find it on like CDs or anything, so that's a good way to sift through bins of CDs to find PlayStation games. So there's a Dusty tip of the day right there. Then my last pickups of the day were all 100% courtesy of Cambro630, actually. I'll have a link, Cambro630 on Minecraft, Cambo Crafter on YouTube, also a bunch of other channels, but whatever. These were all courtesy of him, because, long story short, he was looking for a phone at the pawn shop, and he saw all these and said, hey dude, there's a bunch of awesome stuff, including like a Gameboy there, and like some controllers and stuff like that. So, and I think this Gameboy, well, I have it right here, this Gameboy right here would have probably sold, but since he was going to go up to pay for it, he realized he didn't have any money, so they just left it up at the front counter. So I did manage to pick this up for $10. In fact, when I got there, I didn't see it in the case, so I was like, oh man, it must have sold. But they were like, no, they have it up there. So yeah, it includes a Game Genie right here. It didn't actually include this game. This was just to test it out, but I have Kirby's Adventure in here, and it works perfectly fine. The Bright Beam, I can't figure out how the Bright Beam works, but it's on there. Game Genie. Even has the Game Genie booklet back here, and if you turn it on, probably won't be able to see it, but you can hear it. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, it's loading the Codemasters Game Genie thing. So, yeah, I got that for $10, which I think is a pretty good deal. The screen is in great shape because it's probably been protected by this Bright Beam for its whole life, and yeah, it's just in altogether pretty decent shape, other than the back stickers starting to peel off. And there's name engraved down here, which I don't mind too much. I just want a clean Game Boy that I can use for demonstration purposes, because I'm not really planning to use this thing anyway, since I have a Game Boy Color, which is, it is very difficult to see the screen on these things. So just a heads up, if you're going to be playing Game Boy games, don't get what they call a brick Game Boy like this. Get a Game Boy Advance, or if you're on a little bit more of a budget and you can find one locally, a Game Boy Color. Even though Game Boy Colors nowadays are starting to run as much as Game Boy Advance SPs, so I would suggest getting one of those quickly if they're in your area for cheap. But anyway, then along at the pawn shop, he also said that they had some N64 controllers. Now, Cambro is not very well versed in the magical world of retro video game collecting, so these are the N64 controllers right here. If you haven't noticed, yes, they are Nintendo controllers. One of these is my personal controller. Let's see here. Yeah, it just got bunched in here. This was my original controller I got with my NES. It was my only NES controller, and it sucks. It is absolutely terrible. It's just about impossible to play any games with this controller. So I'm glad to have 4 more controllers to use. Most of these, they're a little beat up, a little scratched up. However, they work amazing, so I can't really complain. I will clean them up and get them working as good as new. And yeah, including an NES Max controller, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, a little cool shape. I played Mario Bros. With this, and I could only get to 8-1 with it, so I couldn't get past 8-1 because this thing can kind of get a little bit difficult to control, especially when the buttons are shaped like this, so you have to hold it like this to play like normal. So that's a little bit of a weird thing, but it's there. So that was everything I picked up this month. Unfortunately, it was hardly anything, but hey, most of the time, I'd rather have some retro pickups than a bunch of modern pickups. I mean, just finding stuff like this in the wild still amazes me today. I am very happy to find anything like this in the wild. I'm always happy to find a GameCube. I would like to find an Indigo GameCube because I collect GameCube stuff. I am trying to go for a full North American collection right now. I have like 100 games, so I'm about 500 games away. But yeah, I mean, I'm just really wanting all the games for the GameCube and all the variations of the GameCube. But unfortunately, I already have 2 of these, so this is going to be kind of like my workhorse console because it is in really bad shape. And the Platinum GameCube I have right now is in crispy, brand new condition. So yeah, this is going to be the one I basically work to death. Or if I mod one in the future, I probably will mod this one. So yeah, that was basically my entire video in depth of everything that I picked up this month, which is pretty sad. But hopefully this month will be better, despite the fact garage sales are going to be ending soon. Oh. And I know that I work this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning, so I won't be able to go out garage selling this week. However, yeah, I'm hoping for good things in the future, especially for the pawn shop, since they haven't had anything like this for a good 6 months. So I'm excited to see maybe they're starting to dabble a little bit more in this kind of stuff again, because you used to be able to, when you walked in more often than not, you'd see something retro in there, but now you just don't see too much anymore. So I'm definitely going to be checking in there every day I can, and I'll be checking very, very frequently, or at least as much as I can. So thank you guys for watching. This has been Dusty D0, and I will see you next video. Take it easy.